Hey, what's up everybody? Danny here with the Neighbor's Kitchen. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm very excited to show you one of my new favorite things to do. We're taking a classic recipe and putting a modern twist on it by making it in the pellet smoker. So, without any further ado, let me show you how to make from scratch biscuits and gravy and make them with a smoky twist on the pellet smoker. Let's get cooking. Okay, so the pellet smoker is preheated to 225 degrees. So let's go ahead and start out with our gravy. So I have this recipe, you can find it in the description below, heavily modified to work with this 12-inch pan and then the 10-inch behind me for the biscuits. This recipe sizing is perfect for 3 to 4 people, 2 if you're really hungry, but we're gonna make just enough gravy for about 4 large biscuits. So, first things first, you're gonna get a wire rack and we're going to smoke our sausage as it is, minus the plastic. What I like to do when it's round like that, it's gonna wanna fall through the mesh a little bit. So gently with my thumbs, just want to flatten it out a little bit. And put it on the wire rack over your pan. That's going to do 2 things for us. It's going to let smoke get all the way around it, and it is also going to catch any of the grease that we're going to want for our gravy. And another thing is we don't want to dry it out. We're not guessing this morning, so we are going to utilize our ThermoPro, Temp Spike Pro, and we're not going to cook it all the way up to 145 because we're going to crank up the pellet smoker and make our gravy in this pan in the smoker at a high temperature. So when we chop this up, it's going to gain 10 to 15 more degrees. So at about 130 degrees, we will ramp up the smoker and chop this up before we add the other ingredients. And if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna put this on the smoker. All right, let's check this out. It's been a couple of minutes. We're up to 61 internal, and I got it set there with the handle where I can grab it when we go to make our gravy, and I made sure to leave enough room on the other side for our biscuits. All right, now let's start on our biscuits. So, just get a large mixing bowl, and we're going to put in all of our dry ingredients, starting with the flour, kosher salt, sugar, baking powder, cream of tartar. Go ahead and distribute all your dry ingredients nice and evenly, making sure to spill some on the counter. Set this aside for a moment, and what you want to do is get a cutting board, 5 tablespoons of butter right out of the fridge, nice and cold. Pop it in the freezer even for a half an hour before, and then with a chopper scraper, we're just going to go ahead and chop this up into tiny pieces. If you would like, you can grate this. It actually grates really well if you put it in the freezer for a little bit, but this is just a little bit simpler in my eyes. So we're gonna call that good because that's going to be a bear to edit out. So there we go. There's our butter. Now we can add our wet ingredients. This is whole milk and a beaten egg. And now this is going to take a little bit of muscle. That's okay. But we want to get everything nice and mixed. Well, shit. So I don't know what happened, but I ended up doubling the milk Just had a harebrained moment, I guess. So this is what it should look like. So I am now making 8 biscuits, and that's fine. We're still going to make 4 on the video, and then I'll make the other 4 later, or just maybe play around with freezing biscuit dough. Anyway, so here we go. And this is why you want a nice sturdy spoon, because you're going to put a little bit of muscle into this. Alright, so once we're about to that consistency, it's going to be a little sticky. We're going to make some layers. So, clean surface, lightly floured. Lightly flour my hands as well. We're going to grab it. And you're going to want to feel for those chunks. That's how you know you have not overworked it. When the butter chunks have disappeared, you might have worked it too hard. But we want to fold it about a dozen times or so. And what this is doing is every time you fold it, this is what helps create those nice flaky layers of biscuity goodness. Patent pending. Can accept. Alright, let's get our 10-inch pan ready. So I'm just going to set that to the side and take some butter. And we're just going to get it nice and oiled up. Here's where things really start to come together. So I'm going to just flour up my surface a little more. We're going to roll this out. It's going to be pretty thin, because remember, we need to get 8 out of this now. So a brief moment of do as I say, not as I do. Unless you want to intentionally double the recipe down below as well, that's fine. Alright, so there we go. Using my large biscuit cutter. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, probably 5, 6. I think we need to go a little thinner for 8. I can't accept that. So, there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. See if we get under here. There we go. That's about how thin it is. Maybe about 1/2 inch. And we're just going to evenly space them. They're going to rise. Okay, there's our 4 biscuits. Now, if you'll give me a moment, I have to figure out what to do with my other 4. All right, we're back outside at our Traeger. We've reached 130 degrees on our sausage. So the next step, you're gonna want a spatula and some barbecue gloves to protect your hands. We're just gonna go ahead and slide these on. And what we're gonna do now, look at that. You can slide out your thermometer and just set that aside. And we want to keep all that grease in there and just see if you can lightly kind of get this guy. There we go. Now, on most pellet smokers, you do not want to increase the temperature with the lid up, as is mine. So we're just going to go ahead. Look at that. Can you guys see that? It's got a smoke ring on the sausage. Let's go ahead and get that kind of pulverized. We're going to start with that. And now that it is off of the wire rack and finally been separated into the ground sausage. We want to bake our biscuits at 450 degrees, which for me, we're not quite gonna get there, so it's just gonna take longer time. Whatever rig that you have, just go to 450 degrees or the highest setting you have, and you're just gonna have to keep your eyes on everything. This is a very intimate process with just figuring out when it's there and taking it inside. So here we go. Going up to the high setting. We're gonna let that sausage climb up another 15 degrees and finish browning. And start baking our biscuits and getting our gravy going. Here we go. All right, so every once in a while I just came in here and broke up my meat. Make sure it's nice and brown. And now we're going to take our flour. And this is good and hot. I'm gonna put my gloves back on in case I accidentally grab for it out of habit. And we're just gonna take our flour. Sorry guys, I'm right-handed. So we're gonna slowly add in our flour. There we go. You want to slowly add your flour, not add it all at once, so that all your bits of sausage get nice and coated. And then I'm gonna close the lid for a little bit and let that get caught up. Caught up a little bit. Now we're gonna bring our whole milk and very slowly as to not wash away all the flour. There's that. I'm gonna give this just a gentle stir. Remember these guys? We're gonna add them right there. Close the lid, and like I said, since these things vary temperature over an oven, it's difficult for me to give you a recipe that says 450 for 20 minutes because you're not at 450, even if you're set to 450. So you got to set your eyes on it. What we're looking for is we're looking for our gravy to set up wherever you like it. Some people like it a little runnier than others. Keep it on there longer if you like it thicker. We're looking for a nice golden brown, nice and risen biscuit. So I will be back with you. It's been about 15 minutes. I figure maybe we pop in here and take a look together, see where we're at. Oh yeah, biscuits are rising. This is starting to thicken up nicely. Lovely. I'm gonna give it another 10 or so. We still have not added salt and pepper to the gravy, so don't worry about that. We'll probably do that inside, but we're getting there. That was very beautiful. All right, so it's been about 5 minutes. I'm worried the gravy's getting a little thicker than I care for, so I'm just gonna go ahead and pull that off and set it behind me here. Look at that. Love it. See how these guys are doing real quick. I think I'd like to give those, sorry, I didn't mean to shout at you. I think I'd like to give those just another couple of minutes. We'll be all right. See how we're doing. Oh yeah. I'm calling that. Look at those. We're back inside. These biscuits are going to continue baking on the bottom because this cast iron's very hot. So I'm just going to put on some knit gloves. I'd say we pulled those at the right time, but look how pretty. Look at this biscuit. Look at that. Traeger biscuit. Anyway, I'm just going to put them on a cooling rack real quick so that those bottoms don't keep cooking. That's not what we're looking for. I want to come over here to our gravy. Here's our gravy. It's got this beautiful smoky, see that redness? That's not normal. This is a huge, major upgrade. So I'm gonna start out with some. There's no salt and pepper in this, so if it looks like I'm really putting it in there, I am. One more thing here. I'm gonna start with that. Crushed red pepper. Gotta be real careful with these bigger shakers. You can go overboard real quick. Let's get those seasonings mixed in there. Never hurts to go nice and slow when you're adding seasoning. This is so much. I'm never making gravy another way again. No, I'm serious. You guys have to try this at home. Holy moly. That's pretty good. I'm leaving it there. Sadie, can you clean this up? All right. Nothing left to it but to do it. I got to make myself some breakfast at almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon. What do you guys think of that? Huh? That smoky color of the sausage is exactly as it tastes too, guys. This is so elevated, and it's nice and chunky. When you smoke a pound of sausage before you crumble it, it holds a little more texture. My God, this is so good. For anyone interested, pellets I'm currently using are Signature Series. Pretty big fan of that. Let's get into this biscuit. Look at that. Perfectly done all the way through. Nice and crisp on the outside. Let's see how it tastes. Yeah? Get some gravy up in there. Holy wonderful goodness of biscuity. So yeah, man, that was I think 20 minutes total for the at high temperature on the gravy. 25 minutes at the high temperature for the biscuits. Took about an hour of smoke to reach 130. Finished it to get the last couple degrees in the pan. Worked pretty good. I'll write all this down so you can copy and paste it from the description below. Try this. Let me know if you do. Let me know what you want to see next. And hey, guys, I thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Until next time, be well. Oh, I gotta get a piece of this bottom.